Okay, we will begin. So first, I just want to, show you the box of the bands that I think you all received. I today am going to be using one of the lighter ones, and I'm going to be using a heavier one, but not the heaviest, So basically, you're going to have to decide which ones work for you for the exercises that we are going to do. So with that, just take a moment to settle. If you're sitting on the floor, I know some of you are probably in a chair, so I'm going to try to give you variations for things if you're in a chair and you cannot get on the floor. But if you're sitting in a chair, just make sure your feet are flat on the floor and you don't have wheels on your chair. If you're sitting on the floor, you can have a cushion or a folded blanket, and you can use that to sit on. If you have trouble sitting up, if you have trouble sitting cross-legged, then you can always straighten out one or both legs, depending on your body and what it feels like. You should not be in pain. But if you can sit cross-legged, go ahead and do that. Sitting up on elevation allows your pelvis to come forward a little bit so that you can support your lumbar curve. When we're tight in the hips and the legs, you may notice if you sit on the floor, your back starts to round, right? And then you're holding on to try to stay upright. So if you can bring yourself forward a little more through the sit bones, so that you can sit upright with your pelvis, your rib cage, and your head. And some people need more than one blanket, right? A higher elevation. So it all depends on your body. So once you're settled and comfortable, just feel your connection to the earth through your pelvis. You can rock on your sit bones forward and back. If you're sitting in a chair, you might want to sit a little more forward so that you're not collapsing into the back of the chair. And then come to the place that feels like it's in the middle so that you're not leaning forward, you're not collapsing backwards, and you can align your pelvis, your rib cage, and your head. And that way you can support yourself through your skeletal system. Your muscles don't have to work as hard to support you. And then just notice your breath coming in and going out. Notice where in your body you feel the breath the most. Perhaps it's your belly, your chest, your nostrils. Wherever it is that you feel the breath the most, just keep your attention there for the next 3 breaths. Just bringing your attention to your breath and to your body brings your awareness into the present moment. Our minds tend to jump around to the past, to the future, but trying to be present and grounded in the present can help you stay focused. It can help you be able to handle any turbulence that happens in your life just by coming back to your breath, coming back to the awareness of your body. Slow the breath down so that each inhale and each exhale lasts just a little bit longer. If you're feeling anxious, you can allow your exhale to be longer than your inhale. Slowing the breath down can help calm the nervous system, but if you're feeling any strain or pressure from slowing the breath down, just breathe comfortably. At the end of your next inhale, just pause and hold the breath for a few seconds. without forcing or straining, and then a nice slow exhale, and at the end of your exhale, pause and hold the breath out for a few seconds. And then inhale again, nice slow inhale, pause at the end of the inhale. Nice slow exhale, pause at the end of the exhale. Do it one more time. And then come back to a natural breath without the holds, keeping the breath long and slow if you can. Bring one hand to your heart center, one hand to your navel center, and just connect to these two centers. The heart being the center of the subtle energy body, a place associated with love, compassion, and healing. And ask yourself, how is my heart today, and how can I best nourish my heart today? Just listening for the answer, allowing the answer. And then bring your awareness to your navel center, the physical center of the body, a place where we were once nourished through the umbilical cord in our mother's womb, and a place associated with self-esteem, self-worth, and power. Anytime that you're feeling out of sorts or ungrounded or uncentered, you can bring your hands to one or both of these places as a reminder to come back into your body, into your breath, and into the present moment. And now join your hands together, palm to palm, and take a moment to dedicate this practice to something that's meaningful to you and seal that intention into your heart. And then bowing your head towards your heart. Slowly open your eyes, lifting your head, and keeping your hands together. You can keep your palms together, or you can separate out to your fingertips and just turn your fingers towards your chest, lifting your elbows a little bit higher than your shoulders. Then as you exhale, sweep your arms out into a T position. Imagine your arms floating on water. Relax your shoulders down. Turn your right palm up. Sweep the right arm up, the left hand down. You can put your hand on the floor or on your chair and try to keep both sit bones grounded, and just breathe into your side ribs. You can make a little side bend here if you like. You can stretch straight up or make a little side bend. And then go ahead and switch to the other side. So just breathe into your side ribs and notice any difference side to side. Quite often one side's tighter than the other. So we're going to do it again on each side, and if one side is tighter, just stay a little bit longer. Just breathe into your rib cage as you stretch. In your own time, just listening to your body, switch when you're ready. And once you've done both sides, just come back to center and roll your shoulders, and then roll your shoulders the other direction. Good, we're gonna do a few hand exercises. So just spread your fingers really wide, and then make tight fists. Spread really wide, and make tight fists. Spread wide. Now make loose fists and do circles. And then reverse those circles. And then bend your wrists back and forward. Bend your wrist back and forward. Bend your wrist back and open and stretch through your fingers. And then bend your wrist forward and wiggle your fingers. Bend your wrist back and open and stretch. Bend your wrist forward and wiggle. One more time, bend your wrist back and open and stretch, and forward and wiggle. Now make fists and go side to side. Keep going side to side, open your hands like you're doing karate chops, and then pause, spread your fingers wide again, and then squeeze your fingers together. Spread as wide as you can, squeeze your fingers together. Spread really wide, Squeeze your fingers together, and now see if you can separate your middle fingers, coming into the Star Trek Vulcan hand signal of live long and prosper. Notice if your fingers behave, and then shake that out a little bit. Turn your palms up. Start with your pinky finger, fold one finger at a time in until your hand is in a fist. And then turn your palms down, open your fingers, and start with your index finger, fold one finger at a time. And then palms up again, start with your pinky finger, one finger at a time. Palms down, start with your index finger, one finger at a time. And do it a couple more times. This is really good, especially if you have any arthritis in your hands. Getting the joints to move, getting circulation, blood flow to the joints. You have a lot of joints in your hands. Good, and now interlace your fingers, turn your palms out, stretch out, inhale and stretch up. You don't have to go all the way up if your shoulders, don't want to do this, but squeeze your upper arms towards each other if you can. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release your arms down. And now interlace your fingers your second favorite way. Turn your palms out, reach out. Inhale and reach up. Squeeze your upper arms, relax your shoulders down, take a breath. On an exhale, release your arms. Good, roll your shoulders, and then roll your shoulders the other direction. Very good. Now let's wake up the legs and feet a little bit. So go ahead and extend your legs. I like putting my hands behind me for support. If you're in a chair, just do, whatever you can in the chair. And then go ahead and just move your toes back and forth. See if you can get all your toes moving back and forth. And then point and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex. And now do big circles. Moving your ankles, notice how your ankles feel, and then big circles the other direction. Good, try to curl your toes. Keeping your toes curled, point. So your arches really engage. You may get a cramp, if so, just back off. And then pull your feet back, keeping your toes curled, and then open your toes, wiggle your toes. Try it again, curl the toes, keeping the toes curled, point, really activating the arches of the feet. Pull back, wiggle your toes. And one more time. Curl the toes, point, keep the toes curled, pull back, wiggle your toes. Good, now bring one ankle across your knee. So if you cannot sit in this position, you can use a ball to massage your foot. You can use a dryer ball, a squash ball, a tennis ball, not a golf ball. Okay, that one's too hard. So now, if you can reach your hand to your foot, thread your fingers between your toes and just gently bend your toes back and forth. And then add a little twist, like you're wringing out a washcloth, you're getting a little spiraling action through your forefoot. And then just gently pull your toes for some traction through the foot. Release your fingers from between your toes, and then just massage your foot. Get in there, massage the ball of your foot, the arch of your foot, massage your heel, massage your toes, massage the webbing in between your toes. So just waking up the feet. Once you have the whole foot massage, you can slap it, you can pound it, and then extend that leg. Notice how that leg and foot feel. Then bring the other foot into your lap and thread your fingers between your toes. Gently bend your toes back and forth. Then add a little twist going side to side like you're wringing out a washcloth. And then gently pull for some traction through the foot. Release the fingers from between your toes. And now just massage your whole foot, the ball of your foot. Massage the arch of your foot. Massage your heel. Massage your toes. And the webbing in between your toes. And once you have the whole foot massaged, you can slap it. You can pound it. And then go ahead and extend that leg. And just notice how your leg and foot feel. Now go ahead and bring the soles of your feet together if you're sitting on the floor with your hands behind you for support. If you're sitting in your chair, you're just going to bring your feet closer together and your knees a little wider apart. And then inhale, lift your knees up. Exhale, release your knees down. So if you're sitting in the chair, you're just bringing your knees together and then slowly opening up. And it helps if you sit more towards the front of your chair when you do this. So just breathe and move. Notice your inner thighs and your low belly working as you lift your knees. You have lymph nodes in the groin area, so this helps to activate the lymph system. This is good for people that have any kind of edema, any swelling in your feet, your ankles, your legs. Get the lymph moving. And then go ahead and bring your hands to your shins, gently pulling on your shins and sitting tall. If you're sitting in a chair, you just put your hands on your legs, push against your thighs, and just sit tall. And then as you exhale, round your spine. And then inhale, those of you sitting on the floor, you're going to pull on your shins, sitting up nice and tall, engaging your back. And then exhale, round and stretch. And one more time. Engage the back and exhale, round. Now coming back to center, if you're sitting on the floor, you're going to bring your elbows into your thighs and push your elbows into your thighs into your elbows, so they're resisting each other. If you're in a chair, you're just going to put your hands on the inside of your knees, right? So you'll be able to squeeze in. Now, lift your legs into your arms, push your arms into your legs or your hands into your legs. Stay here for about 6 seconds. Then on an exhale, release and engage your outer hips to open your knees wider. Use your outer hip muscles. Try again. Legs into arms, arms into legs. And then open, engage the outer hips to open the knees wide. And then one more time. Legs into arms, arms into legs. And then open, engage the outer hips. Good, now bring your hands outside your knees if you're sitting on the floor. Lift your knees, extend your legs. Notice how your inner thighs and your hips feel. You can rock your legs a little bit. And now we're going to do a spinal twist. So if you're sitting in a chair, you're just going to put one hand on the opposite knee, the other hand behind you. You may have to sit forward in your chair. If you're on the floor, you can keep your legs straight or you can cross your legs. You can sit up on elevation, so sitting up on a cushion is good if you have one. Take one hand to your opposite knee, the other hand behind you. Take a deep breath in, lengthening up through the crown of your head, and as you exhale, just gently turn your chest, turn your head, turn your eyes. Just breathe into the rotation. Make sure you're twisting through your thoracic spine. Try not to twist as much through your low back. And then inhale, come back to center and just fold over your legs. Just stay here for a few breaths. And then inhale, come up. And if you're sitting cross-legged, try crossing your other leg in front. If this hurts your knee or anything else, just go back to the first way or straight legs. Now take your hand to your opposite knee, other hand goes either beside you or behind you, depending on your shoulder. Deep breath in, lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, gently twist, turning your chest, turning your head, turning your eyes. Just breathe into the rotation. Make sure you're not over twisting through your low back. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold over your legs. And then inhaling, coming back up, undo your legs, rock them out, and then we're gonna make our way to our hands and knees if you're on the floor. If you're in your chair, you can stand up and you can put your hands on the seat of your chair, right? And bend at the hips a little bit, bend your knees, and you make sure your knees are bent if you're standing up. But if you're on the floor, bring your hands slightly forward of your shoulders, shoulder width apart, spread your fingers. Have your knees under your hips, and we're gonna do a few cat-cows. Inhale, imagine you have a tail lifting, your belly goes down, your head goes up. Exhale, tail down, belly up, head down. So this is flexion and extension of the spine. Inhale one direction, exhale the other direction. Inhale one direction. Notice the flexibility of your spine. Notice if there's any areas that feel tight and sticky or any areas that maybe feel like they're too loose. And then coming back to center, just shift your hips back into child's pose. If you're in the chair, you can just slowly, fold forward. And if anybody has glaucoma, you just don't want your head going below your heart. And then inhale, come up to table, and we're gonna do bird dog. So if you're standing and you have your hands on the chair, nice strong arms with your knees bent and you're bent at the hips. So if you're on the floor, you're just going to extend one leg behind you. If you're on your chair, you can extend one leg behind you. You may not get it very high, but see if you can extend one leg behind you, keep your pelvis level, and then maybe you can extend the opposite arm in front of you. So you might have to hold on to the back of your chair if you're standing up to do this. And then slowly switch to the other side. Just extend one leg, and if you can, the opposite arm. Keep your pelvis level. Keep breathing. This is called bird dog because it's like one of those pointer dogs that people take hunting. And then try it again on each side. Just slowly go into the pose. Stay there for about 3 to 5 breaths. And then you can switch to the other side. And then from here, we're gonna make our way to laying down on the floor on our belly. So if you're in a chair, you wanna maybe go up to a wall and put your forearms on a wall. But if you're on the floor and you can come down to your belly and prop yourself up on your elbows like a sphinx. So your elbows are right below your shoulders. Reach out through your legs, press your pubis down into the floor so you're stabilizing through the pelvis. And then just soften your spine. So if you're at the wall, you're just pushing your forearms into the wall. Your feet can be a little bit away from the wall, and you can just lean into your forearms. Let your heart open up, let your back bend a little bit as long as it doesn't hurt. This is a very passive back bend here. Keep breathing. And then those of you that are on the floor, you can just release down, rest your head on top of your arms, and just take a couple breaths here. And then we're going to make our way to child's pose. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up to table, and then go back to child's pose. Just stretching out your back. Now, if you're sitting in a chair, you can sit in the chair and fold over your legs. Just let yourself fold over your legs. Now, if you're in child's pose on the floor, you can walk your hands back and see if you can come into a kneeling position. Now, some of you may not be able to kneel because of your knees or your ankles or your hips. So if you need to put something underneath your pelvis or roll up a towel or blanket and put it under your ankles, you can do that. So kneeling is a really good way to stretch out the muscles around your knees, but you should not be experiencing any knee pain. And the ankles, the feet, the ankles are getting a nice stretch here. So you decide what works for you, should not be painful. And you can bring your hands in front of your heart center and just take a few nice deep breaths. Good, we're going to be making our way up towards standing. So if you want to join me in downward dog, place your hands shoulder width apart, slightly in front of your shoulders. Curl your toes under, then lean into your hands and arms, lift your hips up and back into downward dog. Now, those of you that don't want to do downward dog, just come up to standing another graceful way. You can use a chair to help yourself up if you need to. Bend one knee and then the other. Just give yourself a little bit of an ankle stretch here. Ankle calf stretch. And then soften your knees. Walk your hands back towards your feet until your heels are on the floor. Then keeping the knees slightly bent, push down through your feet. Inhale, come up to standing. Reach your arms to the sky. And then exhale, release your arms and roll your shoulders. I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit so you can see me back there. And I'm going to move my mat a little further back so you can see me better. Now, those of you that have a chair, you can stand up with your chair, holding onto the back of your chair. So it's up to you if you want to use your chair or not. So we're going to do warrior one. So step your right foot forward, your left foot back. Bring your hands to your hips or hold on to your chair. Then as you exhale, bend your right knee. Inhale and straighten your right knee. Now keep your back heel on the floor. Exhale, bend the right knee. Inhale, straighten the right knee. Exhale, bend the knee. Now you can stay here. Try to be vertical through your spine. Now your left leg is back. See if you can lift your left arm up for a nice stretch through your left side. If you want a little side bend here, you can. Come back to center. Now, if you're really steady in your legs and you want to bring both arms up, go ahead and do that. Lift your heart. Keep your back leg strong, your front knee soft. Good. Release your arms down. Step forward. And we'll do the other side. So take your right leg back. Your left leg forward, square your hips, push through your back heel, exhale and bend your front knee. Inhale and straighten the knee. Exhale and bend the knee. Inhale and straighten the knee. Exhale, bend the knee, stay here, try to be upright. Right leg is back, so see if you can stretch your right arm up. Hold on to the chair if you need it for balance. Add a little side bend, if you like. Come back to center. If you can bring both arms up, if you're steady in your legs, go ahead and do that. Lifting your heart. Keep breathing. And then release your arms, step forward. Good, now this is where we're gonna use the bands. So we're gonna start with something for the arms, and I'm gonna use the lighter band for the arms. And just put the band around your forearms. So I've got it around the middle of the forearms, and the elbows are bent 90 degrees. You can do this sitting in a chair or standing. Try to bring your elbows as high as your shoulders. Your palms are facing center. And then inhale, open your forearms. Exhale and release. Inhale and open. Exhale, release. I have to adjust this band, it's starting to slide. Might be better on skin. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. So we're trying to do about 10. Inhale, open. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Exhale, release. Inhale, open. Elbows 90 degrees, elbows as high as your shoulders. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. Couple more times. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. Inhale, open. Hold it open. Keep breathing. Make sure your neck is okay. And then release. Woo. Now take the band and just put it around the outside of your hands and then just stretch up. And breathe. You can add a little side bend here if you like. So whatever feels good. Go to the other side. Come back to center. Release your arms. Now take that band behind you, holding the band behind you, your hands just holding on to the band. Bend your elbows. Draw your elbows towards each other. Lift your heart. Now you can pull the band a little bit. If you want, you can straighten, you can straighten your arms. You can lift your heart, and then if you want the extra, you can soften your knees, fold forward, lift your arms away from your back. Should not hurt. Bend your knees a little bit, push through your legs to come up to standing. And then release the band. And now, this is where you're gonna need the heavier band. So I have the red one. They also have a black one. I didn't try the black one. The red one seemed to be enough for me. So you're gonna put the band, you might need to hold on to something to put the band around your thighs. Now the band rolls up. They make thicker ones. They make ones that are wider and thicker. That might be better for this exercise, but just do the best that you can, bringing your band up to your thighs. Soften your knees. You can bring your hands to your hips. And then what we're gonna do is step sideways. So you wanna make sure your knees stay bent, and then you're just gonna step sideways. See if you can do 5 steps. And then come the other direction, 5 steps. Keep your knees bent, keep your hands on your hips, stay upright. Do it 5 times, 5 steps. Sorry, not 5 repetitions, but we'll just do 1 more repetition after this. Keep your knees bent. So this is working your outer hip muscles. Hopefully you can feel it. And then come back to center. So maybe 3 laps up and down your mat. You can always do more. You can go up and down your hallway with a band around your thighs. So now you can release that for now. We're going to use it later when we're lying on our back for bridge pose. So you can put it off to the side. All right. So now we've woken up our hips a little bit. Separate your feet wide. We're going to do warrior 2. So turn your right leg out, your left leg in. Keeping your hands on your hips for a moment. Make sure that you're turning at the hips and your feet are nice and stable. You want to push out against the floor. Make sure you're not wearing socks. And then exhale and bend your right knee. Inhale and straighten the knee. Now when you bend the knee, you want to bend it towards your middle of your foot, and you don't want the knee to drop in or out, so you want your foot to stay stable. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Now exhale, bend, and you can sweep your arms up. And then straighten, bring your arms down. Bend and sweep your arms up. Straighten the knee, bring your arms down. And one more time, bend and stay here with your arms out if you can. If you need to hold on to your chair, hold on to your chair. Gaze over your right fingertips. And now push through your feet, come up, turn your toes forward, release your arms. We're gonna go to the other side. So turn your left leg out, your right leg in. Start with your hands on your hips. Make sure you're nice and secure through your feet. Exhale, bend the knee right towards the middle of your foot. Inhale and straighten. Exhale and bend. Inhale and straighten. Should not be pain in the knee when you do this. And then go ahead and try the arms, one or both arms. Inhale up, exhale down, or you can exhale up and inhale down. Doesn't really matter, but just breathe and move. And on this next one, just stay in the pose, soften your shoulders, be upright. Sometimes people lean forward, so you want to be vertical through your torso, through your spine. Gaze over your left fingertips, soften your shoulders. Good, and then push through your feet, come up, turn your toes forward, heel toe your feet towards each other. Take a breath. And now we're going to do tree pose. So you may need to hold on to a chair for balance. So soften your knees, just let the energy go down into your feet. Bend one knee and turn the knee out and bring your heel up against your inner ankle. Now, you might stay here and just breathe, but if you want to bring the foot up, you can bring the foot up to your inner calf or your inner thigh if you want to bring it up that high. And then if you want to bring your hands into prayer position or hold on to your chair, then imagine the branches of the tree rising up to the sunlight. You can extend your arms to the light. The roots of your tree deep and strong, even when the wind blows. And then release your arms. Let's try the other side. So just shift your weight over to the other foot, soften your knee, turn the other leg out, bring your heel up against your inner ankle. So you can stay here, you can hold on to your chair if you need to. Whenever you're ready, if you want to pick up your foot, put it on your inner leg. Try to keep the knee wide. And then you can hold, you can bring your palms together, or you can extend the branches of your tree to the sky. Breathing, roots strong, branches open to the space above, fingers spreading. And then release your arms and shake out your legs. And then soften your knees, and we're just going to fold forward. If you have glaucoma, don't bring your head below your heart. So slowly fold forward. And you can hold your opposite elbow if you like. Have your knees bent when you fold forward. And then pushing down through your legs, come up to standing. And now we're going to go down to the floor for bridge pose. So I'm going to do a little variation here on bridge pose because we're going to use the strap. Now, if you have something to put between your legs, you can actually do that too. So if you have a block or a cushion or folded blanket, you could actually put it between your knees. Let me fix my camera. There we go. So if you have your band, you're gonna put it around your mid-thighs. You can use a strap if you don't have a band. Mine keeps rolling up, so you may have that same issue. If you have a block or a cushion, you can put it between your knees. Then go ahead and lie down on your back. So make sure you're comfortable. Now, if you're up in a chair and you want to lie down on a bed or a couch, you can do that. So with your knees bent and your feet grounded, if you have something between your knees, squeeze into it for 3 seconds. If you don't, just don't do this part. Now keep your pelvis in a neutral position because to make sure there's a little space underneath your low back. And then release that. And then just push out against your strap, just a little bit, not so much that you lose your block. And then squeeze into the block again. Keep your pelvis neutral. Hold that for 3 seconds. And then push your legs out into your band without losing your block. So you don't have to use 100% of your effort here. And then squeeze into the block one more time, 3 seconds. And then push out. So this makes you use your adductors, your inner thighs, and your abductors, your outer thighs and hips. Release the block for a moment. Just take the block out. And then what you can do is just open your knees wider and close. Open and close. So you can do maybe 5 or 6 of these. If you were in PT, they'd probably have you do about 3 sets of 10. So just be mindful. A thicker band feels better on your thighs. There's a sensitive area on your mid-thighs, so my band is hitting that sensitive area. So those bigger, wider bands are a little more comfortable. So just open. Now stay open for a moment. Keep your pelvis neutral. So there's a little curve in your lumbar spine. Hold this open for a moment. And then release that. Now remove the band from your thighs. Whew. And we're going to go up into bridge pose. So you can bend your arms, tuck your shoulders under, have your ankles right below your knees. So you want your shins vertical. Tuck your shoulders under, press down into the floor with your arms, your shoulders. Press down into the floor with your feet. Inhale and lift your pelvis up. Exhale, release your pelvis down. We're going to do it 3 times. You're going to stay in the pose longer on the 3rd round. Push with your arms, push with your feet. Inhale, lift your pelvis up. Stand strong on your feet. Exhale, release your pelvis down. And then one more time. Push down through your arms, push through your feet, come up. This time, if you want to turn your palms towards the crown of your head and open your arms, you can, or you can straighten your arms. And just pressing through your feet, lift your chest. And then exhale, release your pelvis down. And just take a breath. You can bring one knee towards your chest, squeeze it in. The other leg can stay bent or straight. You can take the knee a couple inches out, squeeze towards your armpit. Release that leg down, bring the other knee up, squeeze in towards your chest. Take it a couple inches out, squeeze towards your armpit. So it is okay to put something under your head. So if you need some support under your head, give yourself that support. Then bring your arms into a T position and bend your knees. Have your palms facing upward towards the sky. And then just let your knees rock side to side. As your knees go to the right, you can turn your head to the left. As your knees go to the left, you can turn your head to the right. Your feet can be a little closer together or a little space between your feet. Whatever feels good, just swing your knees side to side. Then if you want to just pause on one side, just breathing into the stretch, just letting your knees go one direction, your head turning the other direction if it's okay with your neck. and then go to the other side. Then coming back to center. Now, if you have a strap, or you can use the band, right? The band, the loopy band that we used earlier, or you can put a strap around one foot and just push your foot into the strap until your leg is straight. The other knee can be bent or straight. You can let your knee sway, or you can let your leg sway side to side in the hip, and if you notice any tight area on the thigh, you can just pause there and let it stretch. You have 3 hamstrings, so you may feel that one part of the leg is tighter than the other, but try to push your foot into your strap. Use your grip, but relax your neck and shoulders. And remember, if you're tighter through the hips and hamstrings, you'll probably need something under your head. Bring your leg back to center. Hold the leg towards the crown of your head. And then release that leg to the floor. Notice how it feels. Now let's do the other leg. So put your foot into your strap. Push your foot into the strap until your leg is straight. The other knee can stay bent, or you can extend it out along the floor. But if you notice it's hard to keep your leg vertical, if your leg is extended, just bend the knee. That will give you some freedom to be able to get the leg vertical. Use your grip, relax your neck and shoulders. Let your leg sway side to side a few times, and notice if any part of the leg is a little tighter. And if it is, just stay there for a moment. Just breathe, pushing your foot into the strap. Your pelvis is grounded, so you're not lifting the pelvis up to do this. You're just grounded through the pelvis, pushing your foot into the strap to stretch your leg. You may notice a stretch in your calf too. And then bring the leg back to center, gently pull towards the crown of your head. It may not go far if you have tighter hamstrings. And then release that leg to the floor and just notice how it feels. Now bring both knees towards your chest, hold your knees with your hands, and just circle your knees. If you're sitting in a chair, you can just fold forward over your legs. And now for final relaxation. So you can put something under your knees, you can put something under your head, you can cover up with a blanket, whatever will help you be more comfortable. And just allow yourself to rest into the support of Mother Earth, into gravity. And take a moment to offer gratitude to Mother Earth for the support that she gives us. And just rest in that support. Bones heavy and grounded. Allow your muscles to let go of any unnecessary holding. Imagine your skin draping over you and each pore breathing. Imagine your organs floating. And imagine your heart gently rocking on top of your breathing diaphragm like a boat on calm waters. Soften your jaw, letting your teeth separate slightly so that you're not clenching. Soften your tongue, letting it rest on the roof of your mouth or float. Soften your eyes, the bridge of your nose, your temples. And imagine your brain is floating inside of your skull, surrounded by fluid, and the fluid is gently flowing from your head down through your spinal column and then back to your head. And just rest in the rhythm of the fluid body. The rhythm of your breath coming in and going out, like the current of the ocean that pushes the water into shore and back out again into the ocean. Just remembering that all of life moves and we are all connected and interconnected to everyone, everywhere, to all of nature, trees, flowers, animals, birds, every body of water and the life within it. The sun, the moon, and the stars and planets surrounding us. And just rest with a sense of unity and connection with all. Notice your breath and gently begin to move your fingers and toes, your ankles, your wrists, and if you want to stretch through your arms or legs, you're welcome to do that. If you're on the floor and you want to bend your knees and roll to your side, go ahead and do that and just gently rock on your side, a nice soothing rocking motion. And then if you're on the floor, you can gently use your hands to push yourself up to seated. And once you're seated, just take a moment to notice how you feel through your body, your mind, your emotional state. Join your hands in front of your heart center and release your intention out into the support of the universe. Take a moment to give thanks to all of our teachers and all of our teachers' teachers and all of the experiences that have led us to this place of wisdom where we sit today, and especially thank the teacher within. And let's share some loving kindness with the world so that everyone, everywhere, including yourself, may be safe and feel safe. May we all be happy and peaceful and free from suffering. May we all have a safe shelter, enough food and good health, and may we all be able to find ease and balance in our lives, and compassion and loving kindness in our hearts. The word namaste means I honor the light within you. Namaste. So thank you, everyone. I do have a couple minutes.